Okay, remember, turn in your ticket during the afternoon break to get your t-shirt. All the beautiful orange t-shirts out there. Today's agenda, we're going to pick up with the board and the AC election procedures and then candidate speeches. And we're going to have a software development update. We also have a bunch of policies. Draft policy 2014-14 and 2014-20 regarding removing needs verification. ARIN draft policy 2014-1 out of region use. 2014-16 austerity policy update. We also have 2014-17 on utilization requirements to total aggregate. 2014-18 on simplifying minimum allocations and assignments, and 2014-19 on allocation based on past utilization. So, at the head table, it's empty. It's myself and Heather. Heather's our remote volunteer. Welcome back, remote people, because we're actually going to be doing the candidate speeches, so it's just myself up here. So, I'm going to move right in. I believe I have Judd Lewis coming up to talk about the ARIN Board and Advisory Council election procedures. Come on up, Judd.
John said that's very dapper. I figure I would fancy it up a notch this time around. Today I am here to talk to you about the ARIN election procedures, how to vote, and just a quick, brief overview before we get to a very exciting slate of candidates who will deliver a short speeches for you. All right, first off, I'll give you a quick rundown of the election process. This year, there's a board and advisory council election, and who can vote in it are designated member representatives for each ARIN member organization. How do you do it? If you're the DMR, we will email you instructions at 3 p.m. Eastern Time today. And follow those instructions, and you'll be able to log in and access your ballots. So, what makes a DMR eligible? The voter cutoff date for the 2014 ARIN elections was the 11th of August. Any changes that have made after that point to designated member representatives will go into effect for the 2015 ARIN elections. So you had to be on the DMR at that point. Your email, DMR email, has to have name and initials to match the organization's domain. And you have to be in good standing with ARIN as of that time. All right, so here's a calendar, and here we are. Voting is going to open, as I mentioned earlier, at 3 p.m. Eastern Time today. Tomorrow, the exciting speeches you are about to watch will be posted and available online. Then, 10 days later, on October 19th, voting closes at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And then later that week, no later than Friday, we will send an announcement to all the voters and to ARIN announce of who the winning candidates are. All right, so now I'm going to talk about, walk you through, there are two ways to vote, to access your ballot. They'll both detailed in the email that you're going to receive if you're the voter at 3 p.m. One, if you have an ARIN Online account, you go here to www.arin.net. Then you log in with your ARIN Online info. Then you go to election headquarters and you click that Vote Now button, and voila, you will access your ballot. Method two, if you do not have an ARIN Online account, here's an example of the email DMRs are going to get at 3 p.m. today. Open your email, step one. Step two, click on that URL and you'll automatically access the ballot. Here is what the ballot's going to look like. In lieu of our candidates, we have the Beatles here to help demonstrate. First off, you're going to see the board ballot, and you select up to 2 candidates for the board. Then you click Submit Vote, and then you'll advance to the Advisory Council ballot. You can select up to 7 candidates for the Advisory Council. Then you click Submit Vote. And then you're done. If you're so inclined, you can click there and you can see a voting receipt. Also, it'll be automatically emailed to you as well. And it'll look like that. Okay, now that's easy. But there are also some DMRs can vote on behalf of more than one member organization. And if you fall into this category, I will briefly detail that process as well. You can see here, if in this instance, it says you have a total vote weight of 6. That means that you can vote on behalf of 6 member organizations. The default in that field there is 6. So if you don't touch anything, if you don't change that number, then you will select your candidates, click submit vote, and you will vote on behalf of all 6 of your member organizations for whichever candidates you select. But let's say I have my 6 votes here. 3 of my orgs want me to vote one way. The other 3 of my orgs want me to vote the other way. So here's how that process would work. I would select the candidates. I would reduce the vote weight field there, change it from 6 to 3. I'll select, let's go with Ringo Starr and John Lennon here. And then the ballot screen will reappear. And you'll see that you have an unused vote weight of 3. So you can now select your other 2 candidates, click submit vote, and you have now voted on behalf of your multiple member orgs. Everything that I have just talked about is also going to be covered in detail in the email that the DMRs are going to receive. Do you have any questions for me before we get to these candidates about how to vote? All right, well, I will bring up John then, who will introduce our candidates.